Here are some exciting coming attractions from Paramount.
The Camptown ladies sing this song, a-doo-dah, a-doo-dah. The Camptown racetrack 9 miles long, oh-doo-dah-day.
I keep down with my hat caved in, doo-dah,
doo-dah-doo.
All the heart-pounding excitement of the sport of kings in his heartwarming story of a happy-go-lucky guy, pinning all his hopes and dreams on a great-hearted horse. Frank Capra's Riding High, starring Bing Crosby and a wonderful cast. Colleen Gray.
Horses, I understand. Fair. But women,
Charles Bickford.
Jenny, tomorrow, get rid of that horse.
Francis Gifford.
But darling, it's a sure thing we're in love.
Percy Kilbride.
This horse is a sleeper.
He's a what?
He's a sleeper,
You want a cot for the horse, too?
Clarence Muse.
How we ought to bake a sunshine cake. It does more good than a big, thick steak. You start with a tablespoon of trouble.
You think you'll be able to run on Saturday?
Run, he'll dance at O.C. Dolan. Away we go in O.C. Dolan. What are we doing dancing here? We got work to do. Come on, Bill. Come on, boy.
Now available on video cassette. And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Legendary director Frank Capra wrote a unique page in the annals of American film history. Even though he was an Italian immigrant who came to this country as a child, no one has ever so eloquently captured the American spirit on film. Director of such classics as It Happened One Night and Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Frank Capra created unsurpassed movie magic. In a personal tribute, Frank Capra Jr. talks about how his father turned Columbia Pictures around by doing things his own way.
He gets a call one day from his agent, says there's a guy at Columbia Pictures that wants to see you. So he goes over there and he meets the head of Columbia Pictures, who became a very famous tyrant kind of person, Harry Cohen. My father begins to tell him how he wants to make films. He said, well, Mr. Cohen, I only work one way. I'm a writer, director, I cast the pictures, I produce the pictures, I edit the pictures. He said, they're just my pictures. And he said, I don't know any other way to do it. So he said, putting me in a committee with other people isn't going to work, because that's the only way I can do it. So Harry Cohen looks at him and he says, wait a minute, I'm the producer. Well, what do you mean you're the producer? Oh, he says, no, Mr. Cohen, I have to produce the pictures. So Cohen says, well, what does that leave for Harry Cohen? And Dad says, Mr. Cohen, you have the biggest job of all. He says, you can fire me. Now, the series of pictures that he did became very successful, and Columbia, which started as this little poverty row studio, became bigger and bigger and bigger and more important. But the one thing that they didn't have that made the more major play, the Warner Brothers, the MGMs, Fox, was Academy Awards. It never won any Academy Awards. He'd already made a picture called It Happened One Night. So when that picture opened and became a very big success, the next year's Academy Awards, it won all 5 major awards. It won writing, won acting, actress, director, and best picture. So this is the first time that had ever been done, and it's only been done once ever since then in the Academy history.
Broadway Bill, a 1934 Capra comedy, was only recently rediscovered and remastered after being lost for more than 40 years.
Broadway Bill is a film that my dad made just after It Happened One Night. And it was, he always considered it a pretty cute little story. It was a story about a man and a horse, and it's got some nice twists and turns. And he wanted to get an actor who really loved horses, because he had in mind some scenes where they would really interplay together. And he thought that would help make the picture. He interviewed the actor, his name is Warner Baxter, and he said, you like horses? Oh, he says, I love horses. He says, you ride? He says, oh yeah, I ride all the time. I love, this is a great movie. I'd love to be in it. So they cast him, and they started. And then they got to the scenes with the horses. And he found out that Warner Baxter may have loved horses, but he was afraid of them. In his mind, he always thought he liked the story, and he wanted to make it again someday. And eventually, he found Bing Crosby, and they became friends, and he decided he wanted to remake it with Crosby, who really did love horses. And then when he was set to make the picture at Paramount, he bought the rights to the earlier picture. But the budget at Paramount was not all high enough to allow him to go to the racetrack and shoot racetrack scenes. And of course, there's quite a bit of racetrack footage in the picture. So what he did is he took the racetrack footage out of the original picture and used it in the second picture. Broadway Bill was always one of my favorites. The picture actually is quite good and quite fun.
Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy Frank Capra's classic comedy, Broadway Bill, starring Warner Baxter and Myrna Loy.